the client doesn't pay, or the client refuses to pay, or the client forgets to pay. What it comes down to is there are house cleaners that are cleaning houses and there's no money for the service they provide. We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Now today's question comes from multiple house cleaners again and again and again. There's no system in place for them collecting money and the client doesn't pay. Do they stay at the customer's house or do they leave? Okay, well, there is a system that needs to be created, and it needs to be created before you go to bid the job at the customer's house the very first time. Before you ever meet the customer, you need to understand what your rules are for payment. Now, if your rules are you take checks and you expect a check on the kitchen cupboard every single time you show up, then that is the rule you will introduce to the customer when you do your initial walkthrough. Now, the customers are hiring you. They are expecting to give you money in exchange for your services. They are not expecting you to come for free. And so when you get to their house, if you never bring up money and you never bring up how much you're going to charge them and you never explain your payment system or process, it leaves them in the dark. And you would say, well, who would do that? But it actually happens a lot. There are house cleaners that never explain their payments. Then they don't get paid and they are surprised. Did you send them an invoice? Well, no. Did you have them leave a check on the cupboard for you? Well, no, I just assumed that they would. No! It's a system that you create because you're the business owner and you have to explain it to the customer. All right, so here's how this works. It is traditional in the house cleaning business that a customer either has a credit card on file where you accept the credit card and then you run it every single time manually because you don't know how much it's going to be based on the tasks that they give you, or they leave you a check on the kitchen cupboard and you pick it up and return it to your employer, or if you are the employer, you return it to the bank in exchange for money in your account. That's how that works. So when you show up at a customer's house, we use what's called a worksheet. Now, I'm a really big proponent of worksheets for this reason. There's a list of tasks that you do every time you're at a customer's house. And based on the amount of time you are given to do the job will determine what and how many of those tasks you do while you're at the customer's house. Now, if you're working by the hour, there are going to be times the house is messier than other times. And if you're only there for 3 hours, all you have is 3 hours. You're not going to make it all the way through your worksheet, and that needs to be explained to the customer. But when you're at the customer's house, you check off what you've done on your worksheet. What you have done on your worksheet activates your satisfaction guarantee. That is what you are guaranteeing for today. So if you did not check something off, you did not have time, you were not able to get to that, the customer can't call you back and say, hey, you got to come back and clean this because you never cleaned it in the first place. Does that make sense? So if they're withholding payment because you didn't do something correctly, that is the topic of a different conversation. The conversation we want to have right now is why did they forget to pay or why the client doesn't pay. There are reasons. There are always reasons. All right, so the next thing that we need to look at is on your worksheet that you're going to leave behind. This is also your invoice. We're not going to go home and then print up a separate invoice and then mail it to them or email them or any of those things. We're going to circle the tasks that were done. We're going to write the price in. Here's the price for today. Now, if they left you a check, you're just going to write the check number on that invoice and write paid. They have paid you the money. Here's their receipt. Oh, look at that. The invoice also became the receipt. And it's also your worksheet, which activates your satisfaction guarantee. This is why I love worksheets. It also has your contact information on it, so you can turn around and hand it to a neighbor, and that is your referral. The neighbor can hire you off of what they know you do, and then also the tasks that you're capable of doing. All right, on the worksheet, back page of my worksheet has rules and regulations. One of the rules and regulations has the cancellation policy, and it also has a list on there of how we get paid. If you forget to pay me, if the client doesn't pay, I accept PayPal and you can send me the money that night. All right, and this is if you don't have a credit card on file. So having said this, there are ways up front to totally abolish the fact that the customer did not pay. Now, there are customers that don't pay because it's a control trip. They're in charge. They're going to push you around a little bit. And so they'll say, oh, well, I forgot to pay you. I'll put a check in the mail tomorrow. And then the next day, oh, I forgot to put the check in the mail, but I'll put it in the mail tomorrow. Well, it's the weekend, so you have to wait till the first of the week when it will arrive. Oh, it got lost in the mail. Oh, well, if you come on over to my office, I'll give you a check right now. And then you drive all the way across town and then they're not there. So there are ways of pushing you around to show that they are in charge. Another reason why people may not pay, I'll be honest with you, they may have lost their job. They may not have as much money in their bank account as they thought they did. There are married couples who have joint accounts. One of the parties overspends and the other one who's writing you the check is like, oh my goodness, I don't have money for the house cleaning lady. And so there are things like that that are completely natural and things that do happen. And you don't want to embarrass your customer by saying, well, why didn't you pay me? You owe me the money right now. Yeah, they know they owe you the money. They hired you. They know that you're not there for free. And so there is an expectation they're going to pay you. Okay, so what do? Very first thing that you want to do is you want to confirm your appointment 24 hours in advance via text. So you text the customer and you say, hey, Gina, I'm coming over tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Just want to make sure we're still on for house cleaning. And if it's a new client, I always throw the price in there. Like we've agreed on $230 for tomorrow's cleaning. That lets her know, oh yes, $230, I need to write a check for that and leave that on my kitchen cupboard. Or if you already have her credit card on file, you simply can just run her credit card tomorrow, but again, I would remind her of the price. So now you have a confirmed appointment. She texts back, yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you, whatever. It's a confirmed appointment. So you show up at Gina's house tomorrow, and when you get there, she's going to pay by check. Lo and behold, there's no check on the cupboard. Okay? We had a confirmed appointment. So a lot of house cleaners will still clean the house, and then they keep wondering, well, am I doing this for free? Is she screwing around with me? Is she not going to pay me? And then they build up in their head all this weird hate and animosity because they're not sure if they're going to get paid for the job. But the reality is if you had a confirmed appointment, you can't sell it at the last minute to someone else. Okay? You're there at the customer. The time is right now. By the time you sell the time to someone else and you go over to their house, the time is gone and you're ready for the next customer. You can't sell the time. You're already there. Stay and clean the house. Now, lots of house cleaners will just say, whoa, there's no money, and they turn around and leave. Well, if you have a full schedule, there's nowhere else that you can put Gina in your schedule. And so because it was a slight oversight, and we don't know why she didn't pay you. Her mother could have died, and she left during the night to fly out to where her mother lived. I mean, you have no idea, and she wasn't thinking about the house cleaner, and even though she knew you were coming, she did not leave you a check, okay? There are reasons that are valid reasons why a customer doesn't pay you, but you're already at the customer's house with a confirmed appointment of a person who has agreed to pay you money. So stay and clean the house. Then fill out your worksheet, and instead of writing paid on it, write, oops, I didn't find a check. So I will just, here's my PayPal account because it's already on your worksheet, right? You just circle it and say, you can send this to me PayPal as soon as you get back. I hope everything is okay. And as soon as the customer gets back and they see their house is clean and shiny and that you've left a worksheet and you've done all these amazing things in their house, they're going to feel horrible. And they're going to call you up and go, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Here's my reason why. And oftentimes it's a very good reason why. But in all the years I've been cleaning houses, this happens about 4 or 5 times a year. A really good customer, not the same one, it's always different customers. For some reason, they forget to pay. And then they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And they get in their car and they drive a check over to me. And I let them know right up front, I'm not in the collection business. If you're hiring me for a service, I'm going to give you my best. And I expect that you will give me your best in return. And they do. They give tips, they give bonuses, they give gifts. I mean, it's lovely. But there are times they're going to forget. And usually they feel very stupid. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. But if you go a second time, let's say that you've given them a whole 2-week period, and I give them a 2-week grace period. I don't chase down money. I just tell them that from day one. I give you a service, I need money in exchange. I'm not going to chase you down. If I have to come back a second time and there's no money, that will be the end of our working relationship. Unless you call me and you give me some good reasons why and we negotiate on something else. So if I show up a second time, The customer did not pay me for last time. And I left the note. I said, hey, you can pay me via PayPal. If I haven't heard from them, if something's happened, they've had 2 weeks to figure it out. And if they have not paid me and I come back again, that is the end of our working relationship. Because now they're just screwing around with me. At least they could have given me the courtesy of a phone call or a text and said, hey, listen, I got fired from my job. I can't have your services anymore. I owe you for last time. I just took a new job. I won't get paid for another 2 weeks. I mean, there are valid reasons that they can give you that will then help you make an informed decision whether or not you want to keep them as a customer. But don't just keep going back time after time after time. There's a person I know that's gone back for 2 years. 2 years, every other week with no payments. Okay, do you think that that person is just going to write you a big check at the end? Are you doing this now for free? Is this a charity? Like what is the reason behind you still cleaning for free? And they said, well, because they're a good friend. Okay, no, they're not a good friend. Good friends don't take advantage of each other that way. If you run a business, there needs to be money in exchange. You give a service, you get money back. That's how that works. That's how business operates. Money is the metric that determines how successful you are in business. And cleaning someone's house every other week for 2 years does not breed success if there's nothing coming back for you. All right, so when a client doesn't pay, those should be red flags that something's up. And the red flag might be your work is horrible. If a customer doesn't pay you and they feel uncomfortable about telling you that I'm not happy with your work, they may withhold payment. And so if you have that happen, you need to address that with the customer. Oh my goodness, I hope this isn't the quality of my work that has allowed you to stop paying me. And customers will go, well, I was a little bit disappointed. And then you can say, please share with me what it was. What can I do to fix it? It might cost you your money this time, okay? And here's the catch. The money you would have made is the price of the lesson. If you learn this one lesson from this client now who does not want to pay you, that was money well spent because now you've learned the lesson. And now you can go through the rest of your career fixing those things that caused you not to get paid today. That is the price of the lesson. And so walk away, wash your hands of it, and just say, hey, listen, no charge for today. I understand you were dissatisfied, but I really appreciate you sharing with me the reasons why I didn't get paid. And now I can fix that for future customers. So when a client doesn't pay, those are my suggestions for getting your money and getting back on track. All right, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.